It is so great to see everybody. I am just so delighted you're here. I am Denise Wine, and I am honored to be the chair of the board for the Fund for Women and Girls. On behalf of our board of directors, we welcome you and thank you for being here this morning. We are here to recognize our champions of change this year. Two honorees, Dr. JoAnne Reifsnyder and MacElree Harvey. And you're going to hear a little bit more about their story and what makes them so special to us at the Fund for Women and Girls. For those of you who don't know much about the fund or are fairly new or first time here this morning, the fund, our mission is to unite and lead our community in philanthropy and provide opportunities and resources for women and girls to thrive. And our champions of change have done that for us. And again, you'll hear a little bit more about them this morning. The fund's primary role is to provide funding for nonprofit organizations. Those nonprofit organizations who are on the front line, boots on the ground, day in, day out, providing opportunities and resources for women and girls and helping build them up. As my 89-year-old father says to me often, who has very little filter these days, Denise, get out there and get shit done. And here's what I'm going to tell you about all those nonprofit organizations who are on that front line. They are out there every day getting it done. So let's give them a round of applause. They do a lot of people. Now, the fund does other things besides funding. We provide education. We have a very robust education program, and I encourage all of you to jump onto our website, check out our e-newsletter. Minnie Kelly, who heads our marketing and communication department, she just does a fabulous job of writing stories and keeping you connected with what's going on in the community, along with our education committee, who just does an incredible job with their docket each year, so check it out. We also provide research. A lot of you know about our Blueprint Report. It comes out every 5 years. We partner with Westchester University. And it is a robust research report that helps our nonprofits write grants and provide valuable data about the state of the union of what's going on in our local community for women and girls. And it also benchmarks against state and national statistics. So our nonprofits use that information to write grants, and they use it to talk to their donor base. So it's a very valuable tool for them. We do many other things, but that just, you're going to hear a little bit more about all that in just a few minutes. I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to thank our outgoing executive director, Michelle Sanchez. Michelle, yes, she deserves a round of applause for her. Thank you. We'll be sure to tell her she got an applause. Actually, she might be watching later tonight. Michelle has led our fund for the last 6 years, and she has been a dynamo, as many of you know. She has put the fund on the map, and it's bittersweet, but we also are just cheering Michelle on because we provided Michelle the opportunity to thrive, and she provided the fund the opportunity to thrive. So it was a marriage made in heaven, and we are cheering her on with her new career path, and wish her and her family very well wishes. With that, I'm going to introduce our interim executive director, Mary Beth Morrissey. So Mary Beth, let me tell you a little bit about this one. So she has an accomplished career in and of herself. Her last position was Chief Accounting Officer for Liberty Property Trust. And when we called her to tell her that Michelle was leaving, she said, well, how can I help? What's going on? We said, well, we need an interim executive director. Well, what are you looking for? Someone like you. So she was like, oh, let me think about that. I'll call you in a couple of days. She called me back, and she said, yeah, I can do that. Now, the other thing you should know about Mary Beth is she's been with the fund for 6 years. She was on the board, and she was, for most of her tenure, chair of our Finance and Investment Committee. So we are overjoyed to have Mary Beth. She is a superstar. So please welcome our interim executive director, Mary Beth.
I'm a little nervous, haven't spoken in front of people in a long time, so be kind, if you will. Thank you, Denise, for your humor, warmth, energy, and focus. Denise puts the fun in fund. That's terrible. Your leadership is critical to the fund, to achieving its mission, and we appreciate you. Many of our board members are here today. If you would stand, board members, please. We'd be happy after the program to let you know more about the fund. Also, I'd like to give a big thank you to the leaders of the Champions of Change breakfast that we have here today, this lovely room, all of the effort that goes into it. Patty Diggin and Mary Beth DiVincenzo, if you guys would stand up and we'll give you that pull something like this off. It's pretty incredible, and they're really wonderful people. Thank you for that. Wow, what a month of learning it's been for me. Getting to know our small but mighty staff, our dedicated board members, and the detailed work that the fund does every single day, igniting change every day. So Denise stole a little bit of my thunder. I was supposed to tell you about the blueprint report, but she already did. So what I will tell you is stay tuned. It's coming soon, should be in a month or two, and there should be e-news, there should be a rollout event, so stay alert for that. We're heartened that there's been progress made that we find through the blueprint report, but there's still much work to do, and the fund is ready to tackle those challenges. And this is an ad from my daughter, I'm gonna have to admit, to this very quick speech, but in the words of Queen Beyonce, who run the world? Girls. Say it with me this time. Who run the world? Girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Okay, and now I have to go on script, or I think I'll get fired from my volunteer nonprofit job. Okay, where am I? Okay, this is my favorite part of the morning because I get to ask all of you for money. No, seriously, we have, as I mentioned, we do a lot at the fund. We do fund nonprofits, but we do our education programs. We have a girls advisory program. We have a Girl Gov program where we are teaching young women about how to get involved with the government, what it takes, help writing legislation. We also teach them about philanthropy, and we have a multi-month program for high school senior girls. So it's that's just part of the education that we do. And as Mary Beth mentioned about our blueprint report. So I believe there are, oh, here we go, text to donate. So there's a couple ways that you can donate to us. You can donate by texting. You can remember us at the end of the year in your final gifting before your taxes go in for the following year. We certainly appreciate and would be honored to accept your stock So anything that seems to work for you, we'd love to have you on board and get you involved with the fund. And if you want to be part of a really incredible group of people who, I'm going to say it again, get it done, come join the fund. We have a ton of volunteer programs and, we're always looking for people to step out with us. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Patty Deegan, and the show goes on. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise, and thank you, everyone. It's so great to be here with you this morning. At this point in time, I would like to take a moment to send out special thanks to all of our sponsors and supporters of the fund and of the work that we do. Without your financial support, we couldn't continue to, with our programs that Denise mentioned, our education and our advocacy. So I really, really thank all of our sponsors in particular. I would like to recognize our top annual partners who are all great champions in their own right. West Pharmaceuticals, Barbara Jordan, Judy and Tim Bell. Unfortunately, Judy, our outgoing most recent chair, could not be with us this morning. Wiscus Cares Foundation, M&T Bank, also Wilmington Trust, Connie and Tom Fogarty, and Denise Wine and Neil Kinch. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize our elected and government officials, who are here with us today. Chair of the Chester County Commissioners, Marian Moskowitz. Also, Commissioner Michelle Kitchline. Up here we have Commissioner John Maxwell. I'd also like to welcome Deb Ryan, District Attorney of Chester County. Deb, are you here? Maybe you can make it with us. And is Debbie Bookman here, Chester County Prothonotary? Oh, we have Debbie. Also, a special thank you to the commissioners and to State Representative Diane Herron and State Senator Carolyn Committa, who have sponsored official citations for Dr. JoAnne Reifsnyder and MacElree Harvey in recognition of all of their achievements. So thank you for that. As Denise mentioned, we're thrilled to be celebrating 25 years of the fund's work on behalf of women and girls in our county. Actually, I'm not sure that we brought up the 25th anniversary yet, but it is our 25th anniversary year. So I'd like to now turn it over to our screen here and share a video with you that explains some of the many accomplishments that we've achieved over the last 25 years. Thank you.
25 years ago, the world was a different place. Back then, the internet was a novelty. Today, we take Zoom calls from our home office. 25 years ago, scientists started mapping the human genome. Today, you can map your own genes. Over the last 25 years, incredible progress has been made, and the fund has been at the forefront of progress for women and girls in Chester County.
25 years ago, our four mothers gathered as colleagues and friends to talk about the changing world around them and the challenges faced by their daughters, neighbors, and communities. They started their own movement to ask the tough questions and lean into the hard conversations as they work together for a brighter future for women and girls.
25 years ago, women's presence in the U.S. workforce was on the rise. Back then, the fund saw a gap in education and career opportunities for women and invested in programs that would help them advance further and better provide for their families. Today, we push for even more inclusive and diverse workplace practices, like paid family leave and mentoring programs for women, and lift up companies and individuals that rise to the challenge.
25 years ago, Congress passed the Violence Against Women Act back then. The fund made its first grants to the Domestic Violence Center of Chester County and Home of the Sparrow to meet the needs of the moment and provide women with resources and support to heal and get back on their feet. Today, we work with the same nonprofit partners and others to hold elected officials and employers accountable for protecting women from violence at home and at work.
25 years ago, Malala Yousafzai was born. Back then, the fund recognized the power of young women as leaders and developed programs that put power directly into their hands to make decisions, give voice to their passions, and lead in their own communities. Today, we have empowered over 180 young women through the Girls Advisory Board and GirlGov Chester County to lead like Malala.
Now we're facing a tipping point. Recent months trouble our spirits. Over 2 million women left the workforce last year, dropping the rate of working women to the lowest it has been in decades. Women are working from home while balancing virtual classrooms and childcare needs. Families are struggling to stay afloat. Gender-based violence is on the rise across the globe. The fund stepped up by awarding nearly $230,000 in grants to respond to emerging needs in our communities. But that alone is not enough.
These are the moments that matter. The ones when we're tired, when we just need a break. These are the moments that hold promise. We can come together in the fight for gender and racial equity to continue fulfilling our promise made 25 years ago, and to fight for a brighter tomorrow. What will you do? How will you meet this moment and join us to ensure the next 25 years and beyond hold even more promise for women and girls?
At this time, I'd like to ask all of you to raise a glass or a coffee cup or whatever you have close by and join me in cheering on all of you in this room and all of everyone that's involved with the Fund for Women and Girls here in Chester County. And just a toast to us, to help us, to remind us that we're here to continue to move boldly on behalf of women and of gender and equity and equality. Here's some cheers. Okay, so it's now my pleasure to introduce Carolyn Taylor Lucia, who will be presenting this year's Corporate Champions of Change Award. SEI was the recipient of last year's Corporate Champions of Change. We recognized SEI for their robust workplace policies and programs that encourage women's advancement. Karen is part of SEI's global marketing team and a founding member of SEI's Women's Network. We are grateful to have Karen here today as a supporter of our mission to present this year's Corporate Champions of Change Award. Karen?
Good morning, everyone. It's really nice to be here in a room with actual people and be at an event. I'm now pleased to introduce the Corporate Champions of Change Award. The fund established this honor to recognize a company for its leadership and company-wide commitment to increasing access to economic opportunities and advancement for women through its workplace culture and practices. I'm proud to be able to recognize MacElree Harvey with this honor today and to add their names to the list of other truly dedicated companies, Fox Rothschild, West Pharmaceuticals, First Resource Bank, and SEI will remain dedicated to hiring, promoting, and developing women. I now invite you to turn your attention to the video to learn more about how MacElree Harvey. I'm sorry, I practiced that like 20 times. I knew I was going to get it wrong. I'm so sorry. It's like the honoree and I can't get it right. I'm sorry. MacElree Harvey, how they've been paving a bright path for their female employees.
My name is Caroline Donato. I'm a partner at MacElree Harvey, and I'm a criminal defense attorney. What I try to mentor younger female attorneys, and what I try to keep in mind myself is We might not always be the oldest in the room. We might not always be the most experienced in the room. We can't choose our gender, although I wouldn't choose any other. I'm happy with who I am. But what you can always do is choose how prepared you'll be on a case. And ultimately, that preparedness for a case is what earns that respect and overcompensate for things we can't control, like age, like how someone might perceive you on the outside. The initiatives in place, I think it's just about promoting equality and opportunity here for every single person, and that does include women, especially women like me, because I've had such great opportunities.
Hello, I'm Nicole Castaferro, Firm Administrator at MacElree Harvey. For me personally, I see, our CEO raising a family, working and elevating to the next level. And for me, I have a young child, so I see how this firm responds to work-life balance and how you can be, great at both things, your family life and your work life. And I think that's inspiring. We really are employee-oriented, and we really, do a good job, I think, of getting everybody together. And I think that's one of the initiatives that everybody can kind of get together, talk outside of work, see what other people are doing. And even it speaks for women, because some women in some departments wouldn't talk, and then they get together and they see, hey, she's doing it, so can I, and it really personalizes everybody here, I think.
I think it's important for MacElree Harvey to be recognized for all of the good things it does, because then that promotes the firm to continue to grow in a progressive way as it does. And I think that also encourages other firms to follow. So I'm glad this firm is getting an award, and I hope it just continues to grow, because that makes a better place for everybody. I'm just really grateful to this firm. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm thrilled to grow here. It's been a great experience. I know I'm lucky. I know other lawyers my generation don't have that same experience. And so just keep on keeping on.
I think this recognition is really good for the firm, because it highlights for the community what a really nice place this firm is to work. I'd like to say thank you to both the fund and to MacElree Harvey for allowing me to be a part of this Champion of Change project.
I'd like now to introduce Ashley Stitzer, who is accepting the award on behalf of MacElree Harvey, where she's partner in the Westchester office and member of the firm's family law practice group. Ashley herself has received acclaim for the highest level of professional excellence and ethical standards any attorney can receive, and has been named repeatedly to mainline today's top lawyers list. She's also active in the community, providing pro bono legal services to safeguard the welfare of children and people of low income. I was also told that Ashley's daughter is now in her second year of the fund's Girl Go.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. My name is Ashley Stitzer. I have to tell you that I was intending to introduce myself, but I'm not going to try to upstage that one. It is with great pleasure that I accept the Champions of Change Award on behalf of the firm. MacElree Harvey is extremely proud and grateful for the fund's recognition of its support of women in the workplace and the advancement of their careers. MacElree Harvey is a firm steeped in history. It was founded in 1880 and is the oldest law firm in Chester County. As you can imagine, at that time, the number of female attorneys at the firm was 0. But since then, the firm has continued to navigate and grow with the evolving culture over the decades, including the recognition of women's equality and strength in the workplace. Like many organizations in prior decades, this included a period of time when the firm had a reputation for being an old boys network. I'm very pleased to advise that that has changed dramatically, and is one of the reasons that the fund's recognition of the firm today is so meaningful. When I was interviewing for a position with the firm, I was sitting in a conference room with 3 of the male equity partners that day, and they posed the question to me of where I saw myself in 5 years. And of course, without hesitation, my response was running your firm. To this day, I really said that. To this day, however, I do believe that response is the reason that I was hired. The firm values the strength, diversity, and drive that we as women bring to the workplace. MacElree Harvey is extremely proud of its policies, practices, and culture that support women in their professional and their personal lives. The firm regularly provides training, resources, and education to advance women in their professional development and the growth of their practices. The Educational Assistance Program provides financial assistance for courses offered by accredited learning institutions. The program has been utilized by multiple female employees to further advance their careers. Female attorneys have utilized the program to obtain LLMs in trial advocacy, certified elder law attorney or CELA certifications, and other advanced degrees to distinguish themselves as leaders in their practice areas. Multiple women in paralegal and legal assistant positions have also utilized the program to attend law school, to obtain paralegal degrees, and also to obtain other certifications. MacElree Harvey regularly promotes women within the firm to promote their careers. This includes promotions from associate attorneys to partner, from staff positions to the firm's administrative team, and from legal assistant to paralegal positions. Most notably is our Chief Executive Officer, Michelle Foster. In 2003, Michelle started with the firm as a staff accountant, and over her 19-year career received multiple promotions, including Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer. In 2016, Michelle was promoted to Chief Executive Officer and became the only non-attorney female CEO of a law firm in the Philadelphia area. According to Law 360's annual glass ceiling report, women make up 25% of partners in law firms across this country. Today, MacElree Harvey has 31% of its equity and non-equity partners are female. The firm places great value on its employees and is committed to providing an inclusive and supportive work culture. The firm supports attorneys in the exploration and change of practice areas to ensure job satisfaction and happiness in their careers. Flexibility in work schedules and the opportunity to work from home has allowed our attorneys to successfully manage and balance their work and family lives to encourage productivity and job satisfaction while still meeting the needs of our clients. The firm implements a formula-based compensation structure to ensure that all its employees are receiving equal pay. Policies such as the paid medical leave of absence plan, zero tolerance harassment policy, and open door policy allows for responsiveness to the individual needs of each of our employees and fosters a safe work environment and supportive culture. The firm's commitment to gender equity and the support of its employees is exemplified by the honor of being named one of the best places to work in Pennsylvania for the last 4 years and the only law firm in Chester County to receive that designation. MacElree Harvey greatly appreciates the Corporate Champion of Change Award and the recognition of its commitment to the support of women in the workplace and the advancement of their careers. As we continue as a society working towards gender parity in the workplace and investing resources to empower and promote our outstanding female leaders and develop our future generation of leaders. On behalf of MacElree Harvey and all of the women that it supports, thank you very much for this honor.
Thank you very much, Ashley. I want to share with you our heartfelt appreciation on behalf of all the thousands of women and girls whose lives are transformed each year through the dedicated support of West Pharmaceuticals. West is a previous recipient of our Corporate Champions of Change Award. West Pharmaceuticals' critical lab work happens at their Exton office location, and their office staff continue to work remotely. Though staff are unable to be with us in person today, they want you to know that they are with us in spirit and asked us to share this video with you.
Working at West means having an opportunity to work by the side of our patients and customers, our global team members, and the communities in which we operate, which all help contribute to a healthier world.
Having a passion for customers means putting yourself in their shoes and endeavoring to solve their problems so that they can focus on the development of the pharmaceutical sciences. It means taking a humble disposition when approaching this industry and promoting a culture of curiosity.
Having a patient-first focus is a constant reminder that behind every one of our components, whether it be an elastomeric closure, a seal, a plastic device, an assembly, there is a person associated with that component. Everything we do, every action we take, we have to think of that quality first.
We are all one West. It's what draws us together. It's what helps us collaborate. We all share a sense of mission. And when I go home every night, it's what gives me the sense of reward.
And one thing that's really impressed me is the company's commitment to the communities where we work. So across all our operations, our employees come together to form a Westerner Borders team, and they look at the local community and what the needs are. I think it's really impressive to see how important that is within the company, and you can see that it's a real part of the culture of West, about giving back to the communities where we operate.
I work with multiple employees across the globe, in Israel, in Germany, also domestically in Exton. And being One West team, we always help each other out, always give each other the platform to be able to speak to our ideas, and also, as a general rule of thumb, what makes each other better is lifting each other up, and of course, making the company a better place to work.
We're the go-to company when it comes to primary containment and drug delivery systems, and that makes me very proud to work for West. That we are the leader in the marketplace. It's an important aspect of my life, as far as feeling that we're doing something good.
What I really like about West is that we have a different mix of people working here. So we have people with a high seniority working for a long time at West, and we have a lot of people with young people just started with fresh eyes. So it's really about the people and about the team spirit to work at West.
What I like about the job is I am making impact, gives me joy.
We have geographical borders, but the One West concept actually brings down these borders so that we can work across many different countries, different cultures, and collaborate with each other.
I just think they care about good people. They just want to keep good people.
It's nice to know that you're helping somebody out there who needs help, but we do help the lives of people every day.
Do you want to join a diverse, close-knit community of professionals where everyone has a voice and opportunity to learn and grow through mutual trust and respect? Visit careers.westpharma.com and learn how you can join us and help us to create value for our customers and patients, our community, and our team members.
West is one of those big supporters, not only just of the fund, but also of so many organizations in Chester County. So they asked us to share that with all of you here this morning. It's an honor to introduce our next presenter, Charmaine Spence Rochester, a recipient of the 2020 Gladys Black Women of Distinction Award. Charmaine continues her work as Chief Financial Officer and Medicine, with the move this last year from Chester County Hospital to Lancaster General Health. Thank you, Charmaine, for taking the time to be with us today and for all you do to support women and girls. Charmaine.
So we are now pleased to present the Gladys Black Woman of Distinction Award. This award is named in memory of the fund's late friend and committed board member, Gladys Black. Gladys was a business leader, and after the death of her husband, she became acting president of the Valley Forge Group, comprised of companies in the US, Germany, and England. In addition, she was an active and engaged supporter of her church, her alma mater, and several organizations and nonprofits. Though a humble leader, Gladys would be pleased that the fund is taking time to recognize such amazing leaders, particularly in this space, Gladys was a faithful patron and supporter of people's light. It is the same commitment and drive to empower women that Gladys had that we see in this morning's honoree, Dr. JoAnne Reifsnyder.
My Aunt JoAnne is an extraordinary human being, and I don't say that because of the myriad of degrees and accomplishments and accolades and titles this woman holds, or all of the amazing career posts she's held throughout nursing, healthcare, palliative care. It's really just that despite all of that, she is such a real, down-to-earth, humble person, a lifelong learner, and she offers such a compassionate presence when she's with you. Despite being so busy, she has always made time for me in her life to have a phone call when I needed it most, and ask those really important questions. What is most important to you and how can I help?
JoAnne and I have worked together for about 10 years. We collaborate as partners on a lot of different projects, both clinical and operation projects. I am very excited that she is receiving this recognition because she has just portrayed every leader aspiration and quality for so long, to be able to highlight her talents and skills and who she is as a person is just a great opportunity, and I just am in awe of her most of the time.
Over the past year especially, I have seen my mom give so much of herself to this field of nursing, to her colleagues, to trying to make a difference. And again, I've watched her work nonstop 7 days a week, pouring herself and her life into this profession, and yet still somehow finding the time to support other people in their professional journeys. And I don't know how she does it. She leaves me in awe a lot of the time and wondering how I can possibly fill those shoes or live up to her example. But she is just an incredible support of women and girls everywhere.
JoAnne has had a great influence on many people within our organization. She's been instrumental, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, in helping our organization be the leading industry in the post-acute care world. Gosh, many reasons why she deserves this recognition. As a leader, she's authentic. She's a transformational leader. She values everybody. Everyone has a voice. So she always asks the opinions of others, what we think about. So it doesn't matter in what position you are within the organization. She makes you feel special.
JoAnne deserves this recognition, probably because she's never been one to seek recognition or status or positions of power, but I think that the best leaders don't.
She's someone who puts other people first constantly, almost to her detriment sometimes. I think she's constantly thinking about other people and what they need.
JoAnne, you have been a wonderful friend, a special mentor, a proponent for me in many ways, and I just can't thank you enough for the many years that we have worked together, and I look forward to the ongoing years of friendship.
I just want to thank her. She's helped me get to where I am in my career. And, even she's helped me grow professionally, personally. She's always been there for me. And I thank you, JoAnne, for that. You've, been my rock. So thank you very, very much.
Aunt Jo, I love you so much. I think you're an incredible mother and grandmother, and I look up to you so much. Thank you for helping me become the person that I am today.
Mom, you are incredible as my mom, as a grandma to my own daughter. We have the best example in you as a powerful, thoughtful, caring woman. And I just hope that I have lived up to your example and that Rose will continue to as well.
So honored to present the Gladys Black Woman of Distinction Award to Dr. Reifsnyder for her efforts to support and uplift women in nursing and healthcare fields. JoAnne is Executive Vice President for Clinical Operations and Chief Nursing Officer at Genesis Healthcare. Dr. Reifsnyder is the only female member of Genesis Healthcare's Executive Management Committee and a true champion of women. She oversees the nursing department, social services, and quality, which includes 6 female vice presidents, more than 200 directors of nursing, and thousands of nurses and social workers, the vast majority of whom are female, and is responsible for the leadership development and career growth for more than 20,000 female clinicians. Through her leadership, Genesis Healthcare provides female employees with access to local universities, on-site training, virtual training, and opportunities to move up the career ladder. In addition, Dr. Reifsnyder led the development of nursing career ladders and the successful achievement of the Pathway to Excellence designation at an affiliated center in Pennsylvania, one of just a handful of the nation's roughly 15,000 nursing centers to receive this award. In particular, this past year has, well, almost 2 years now, I'm in the COVID time war, but has been particularly challenging for clinicians and those who are on the front lines caring for our most vulnerable population. So it's such an honor to, as someone working in healthcare, I'm not a clinician, but I have so much respect for the work you do, and it really is an honor to present this award to you today.
So I didn't know about the video. Did all of you know about the video? My niece, I don't even know how you found her. She's in Hawaii right at the moment. She hasn't been anywhere near here for quite a while. That was very moving, and I want to say thank you, of course, to Denise and the board and to Mary Beth and the team. What an extraordinary honor to be brought here by this group. The work that you do that inspires so many and has helped so many. You talk about the mission of igniting change, and I love that you use a verb. And when I think about igniting, it's not throwing a grenade in, right? It's not setting something on fire, it's starting with a spark. And a lot of sparks go out, but you always start with one. And we don't let anybody put out our light, and that's how we ignite change, and that's what you do. You know, I was reminded of a quote that I use a lot because I love Margaret Mead. I've read multiple biographies. I'm just so inspired by her work in anthropology, and some of you have probably heard this. And it's very fitting for this group and the work you do, and that is, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. And I have the utmost respect for the work that you're doing, and I'm honored to stand in your light today. COVID has been soul-crushing. In nursing homes, it's been soul-crushing to so many, anyone who's been touched by this, and no one's escaped. Everyone knows someone who was very sick or died. In the early days of the pandemic, nursing homes were not prioritized for testing, for PPE. People began to get sick. And yet, the healthcare workforce showed up every day, mostly women, every day. Nursing assistants, those who were at entry level into the nursing team, showed up every day. These are people who are taking care of families of their own, often without very much support. They had to find care for their children to be able to come to work, to care for older people whom they love and consider their family. And they did it day after day after day. People kept asking me, aren't you having like a terrible workforce shortage? Aren't people quitting? Aren't they staying home? No, they weren't. No, they weren't. And they're still not. They're still there showing up every day. I think that as we move forward, what we've certainly learned through the pandemic is who the essential workers really are. And they are the people on our front lines who are serving, placing their hands on the frailest, most vulnerable people every day. What we've been able to do at Genesis is to create career paths for people who are just starting out. Coming in as a nursing assistant, as I did, into nursing many years ago. My mother was, in one of the photographs that was shared today, my mother was a nurse who graduated from Allentown Hospital School of Nursing in 1949. And she was the director of nursing of a small nursing home near our home when I was growing up in Bucks County. And she called one day on the weekend and said, "JoAnne, please put on one of my uniforms and come down here. I need you. I think they'll fit." I think they'll fit. Well, Mom called and I could drive. And so I did. I put on one of her uniforms and I went down to the nursing home. About 24 people lived there in that amazing place. What I learned from her is that compassion is at the root of all we do, and compassion is also a verb. It is the actions that we take to serve others. So to wrap up, my career has been a lot of improvisation. My opportunities to go to college were not conventional, I suppose. So I started in 1977 at a community college and got a nursing degree here in Pennsylvania. And then I went to school continuously for the next 25 years while working full time. And I knew there would come a day when my daughter, who's sitting right back there, would say to me, and she'd think that college was something you start and go for the rest of your life. And she'd never want to do that. So she said to me one day, probably about 25 years ago, she would have been 11, and she said, "Mom, I was thinking maybe I'd be a psychologist." And then she popped the question, "How long would I have to go to school?" And so now I'm on the spot. I hadn't really prepared yet for this. And I said, "Well, you get an undergraduate degree, and then, you could probably go right into a PhD program." And I'm like hedging, that'll take a few more years, so maybe 8. She's like, "Oh, that's nothing. I thought you were going to say like 15 or something." So indeed, learning is something that we start and we do for the rest of our lives. Many women have helped me, and I hope that I have helped many women. A student of mine in one of the courses that I teach now at the University of Maryland thanked me via email for working with her and said, "I hope that I could do the same for you someday." And I said, "You've already done everything you need to do for me, but do this for someone else." Because that's what we do. We pay it forward. So I hope that 25 years from now, my granddaughter will be 29. It's not hard to imagine, Rachel. She's probably cringing at the thought of that. But I hope that she, Rose, won't have to overcompensate. I hope that she won't be the only woman in the room, in the boardroom, or in many of the activities that she's doing. I know the fund will still be here, supporting women and driving for change. And I am so grateful to you for the work that you do and for honoring me today. Thank you.
inspiring words. You know, we have all been through a lot over the last couple of years, and women like her are really making things so much easier for our families each and every day. So we're truly grateful for her work and for her to be honored here today. My name is Tiffany Scott, and I am the Vice Chair of the Board for the Fund. I'm so glad to be around humans today. I have no idea. And I'm so glad that you all decided to come out and join us for this wonderful breakfast. I know some of you are new about hearing about the funds, but we are a wonderful organization. I'm so glad that you all took time out of your busy schedule to come learn a little bit more about what we do and how you can help us going forward. I know that I am the only person keeping you from the rest of your day, which could be good or bad, I'm not sure. I know I have to head back to work, and some of you may not, but that's all good. So in order to wrap up today, I just want you all to see on your tables there are surveys. If you would take a moment to fill those out and leave them on your tables, we'll be around to collect those. And just some updates, we are still in the search for a new executive director, so stay tuned about information about that. And if you don't fill out the survey, we'll probably email you one as well, so no worries there. As you saw earlier, there was a text to donate information that on the board, it's right there. You can take a moment to do that. There's also envelopes on the table if you'd like to give in other ways as well. One thing I'd like to say about the fund, I've been working with this organization now for about 4 years. Working with the fund and investing in the fund is really an investment in Chester County's women and girls. We are an organization that is giving to others to do the ground level work that is really making a difference in our community. We have made such an impact on so many nonprofits and young people and women in this area. So making an investment with us is really an investment in all the people that you see walking around in Westchester when you drop off your children in car lines or any other events that you're at. So I really hope you take the time to think about how we are helping so many people in this area. Thank you all again, especially to the committee who put together this wonderful event. We are so glad that you were able to come. We have our wonderful luncheon, which will take place in May. I'm sure you will all hear lots about that. We hope that you'll attend and have a wonderful day. Thank you.